The Atlanta Falcons have lost 6 in a row against the spread, and the Minnesota Vikings, of course, lost ATS last week after having won 8 in a row against the spread, and they meet up in Atlanta in NFL Week 12. We will cover this game with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. I'm Peter Loshak. You're watching SBR Videos. Joe Duffy, the Vikings took a beatdown from Green Bay, but in general, this is a very well-coached team. Feels like the kind of team that should bounce back. They're on the road, though. They're only getting 2 points. And the Falcons, they came off the bye. They lost to the Colts. Devontae Freeman had a concussion. I'm not sure what his status, whether he's going to play in this game. Matt Ryan is kind of playing, subpar, throwing a lot of interceptions. In general, it feels like Minnesota's more likely for a bounce back here. I did bet this one. I took the under. Right now, it's 45.5 or 46. I think that regardless of who wins the game, Minnesota's going to come back and play their brand of football, which tends to lead to modest scoring games. And Atlanta's offense just doesn't look like it's as the kind of explosive offense that we sometimes see from them that can push games over. I like the under at 46, and as far as the side, I guess I would lean Minnesota as more likely to bounce back, but I wouldn't bet that. Joe Duffy, what you take in this game?
That injury to Devontae Freeman is definitely the key. So far as we follow this, it looks like he's doing well in the concussion protocol, and I would list him as probable, but he still has a couple more tests to undergo. It's ironic that at the beginning of the year, I said that the Falcons had that very deceptive 5-0 start. They were winning some games ugly. They got some breaks. Now, just the opposite. They've been losing games that they could have won, and they've been really actually very competitive in their loss. They have dropped 4 of 5 straight up, and of course 6 straight against the spread. But they've definitely had some winnable games along there. So if anything, maybe they've gone from a team that was very overrated to a team that's all of a sudden become underrated. And you did say correctly that the Falcons have dropped 6 in a row against the spread. And of course, the public's aware of that. They don't want to bet on a team that's been struggling against the spread. Well, since late 2003, teams that are on a 6-game against the spread losing streak are actually 21-4 against the spread.
Wow.
So Atlanta should bounce back here. But, and again, their last 3 games were by a total of 7 points. Or their last 3 losses were by a total of 7 points. Adrian Peterson, he goes against the Falcons' defense. It's holding teams at 0.5 yards per carry below their normal average. Atlanta's defense, especially the run defense, has actually played very well during this slump. But because I want to really see the more definitive status on Freeman, I'll probably pass, but I would lean towards Atlanta.
And what about my lean to the under? I feel like it's a safe bet unless out of nowhere Atlanta's offense steps up the pace, steps up the tempo, and starts putting up touchdown after touchdown. Is that likely to happen, or do you think that the under might be a good bet?
Well, the ironic thing is, if Atlanta does do very well against the run as they've done this year, if they slow down Peterson, then Minnesota is going to have to throw the ball a little bit more. And Bridgewater is very efficient. He's not great at throwing down the field, but maybe, if anything, I would say, look what happens in the first half of Atlanta stopping the run. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota opens it up in the second half. But I don't really have a strong feel on the total because I think it's ironic that the better Atlanta is against the run, maybe the more likely the game is to go over the total because Minnesota is going to have to open it up because that's my golden rule. It's more about pace and the play calling than it is about offense and defensive competency, although the latter is important too.
All right, another tricky game, but Joe Duffy tackles them all. That's why he's had so much success all these years. We will see what happens with Freeman by kickoff. We'll see where the line moves. Right now, though, Joe, we have Atlanta -2 market wide and 45.5 or 46 on the total. Is it going to be a pass for you, or would you like to go official with a pick?
I think I'm going to pass on this for now.
All right, I'll go with the under 46. What the hell? If Atlanta is explosive on offense, sure, I'll take it. I'll eat the loss. Joe Duffy, OffshoreInsiders.com is your website. You've had a ton of success there. Your premium picks are the games that you like, not necessarily the games that I ask you to cover, which have tricky lines. Tell us about that, OffshoreInsiders.com.
Literally the single greatest football season ever recorded, preseason through right now, college and pro combined. We're in a great year in college, great year in pros. Visit OffshoreInsiders.com. As you follow this, the portfolio is not complete, but I want to tell you it's an important weekend because there's a lot of myths out there about college football rivalries, how to handicap them. Most of them are wrong, folks. All the myths are wrong, but most of the commonly held theories are wrong. Visit OffshoreInsiders.com. I'll give you all the details.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Peter.